Yeah, I did.
Power's on down here. But no, these are your other. It's not free, it's probably the one, it's just out of. No. Excuse me, sir.
He's gonna be.
Yes, Rick is, and there's a computer right there. So HDMI 3 is this for. Or we can switch to HDMI 1, that's whatever it is, much easier.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in that slot.
This here?
No.
The other thing is I don't think we need any of that. Yeah. Why don't I move on the other side? Pull it back through. I'm gonna move on this side.
Do we have one with that? Yeah.
Yours is on the screen. It is?
Yeah.
Okay. Table can also be moved right at top of the other side. Okay. No, we don't. All right.
Does this need to be moved anywhere else or just staying here?
I think it's fine. I think good there. Yeah. Thank you. Just make sure. Yeah. You good? Good. All good. Good. It's better to present and take public comment. Yeah, so there's something to do that. Okay, yeah, that's fine. They say that. As far as the total number, up to the team. Sure. Well, same. Yeah. Oh, you got Eckhart's back. It's appropriate, yeah. Yeah. Here. Yeah. Condition.
He would. So maybe introduce.
Introduce Scott.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending our special called meeting, the Jasper County Commissioners. We're going to start out with the pledge and a brief moment of silence, and then we'll get started with our agenda. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. All right, as you know, we have called a special meeting because we have some very important considerations before us, which have been that involve economic incentive agreements with AWS, Amazon Web Services, and NIPSCO. As you all know, you've been well aware, we've talked about the topic for several months now, and now you're going to get a chance to see details that we've been working out on behalf of, negotiating on behalf of the county. To start our comment time today, we'd like to hear from Amazon Representative Scott Eckhart. So if you'd be willing to come forward, introduce yourself, and maybe give us a little background from your perspective. Make sure push the button, make sure the blue collar is on. Right.
You gotta hold it just a little bit.
Hold it just a sec. There you go. It's on. You're on.
Good. First, I'll introduce myself, Scott Eckhart, Principal of Economic Development at Amazon Web Services. Just want to express my appreciation for the collaboration throughout this process. As the commissioners alluded to, it's been several months of conversations here to really figure out how to create a win-win scenario for both Jasper County and Amazon Web Services here as we continue to explore this project in the county. I think the key highlights from our perspective that we want to call out here, we're excited about the $7 billion investment that comes along with this project. We anticipate it'll create at least 250 jobs. And more importantly, we're excited to just be a good partner here and are excited for the long-term partnership that this opportunity creates in the Jasper County community. I think Rick's going to go through, the county attorney here, or outside counsel for the county, that kind of outlines the detailed benefits of the project. But from a high level, those are the fundamental core of why we're excited to be here in Jasper County. We think we've got great leadership here that's done a good job of making sure that the county's concerns with the project are covered in these agreements. So once again, just want to thank you for your time, your engagement, and your thoughtfulness throughout this project, and look forward to hearing more from Rick here.
Go ahead. So this is Rick Hall, Barnes and Thornburg. He has represented the county on behalf of these negotiations. This is not his first time representing Jasper County. He's done several projects for us and many other counties and municipalities in the state of Indiana. So he's well experienced in these types of conversations. So Rick.
Thanks, Reen. So consistent with the commissioner's concern for the future of the county and the approach that Amazon has taken in its other communities and wants to take here, there's several agreements that lay out the provision of contributions from Amazon to the community to address the impact of the project and to make sure that that is minimized and even has a positive impact on the county in the long term. And then there's also provision for payments, as you'll see, that coincide with some of the incentives that are going to be provided by the county, incentives that are consistent with what other folks have done around the state on projects like this in order to attract the project. So with that background, there's 3 agreements that the commissioners have before them with respect to the project. You have a community enhancement agreement. And what this does is outlines how funds are going to be provided by Amazon to pay for certain impact and development costs that are a result of the project. And I think when I go through the details of that, you'll see more what I mean. And then there's also a real property tax exemption agreement. This relates to the 10-year tax abatement being provided by the county to the company with respect to real property improvements. And then finally, there's an enterprise information technology exemption agreement, and this relates to a personal property tax abatement for the IT equipment that's invested in the facility. This last agreement is one that was authorized by statute several years ago, and the state made the policy decision that they wanted to track more data centers to Indiana, and this has had the intended effect and is an important component to this project. So taking the community enhancement agreement first, as I mentioned, it provides for contributions by Amazon for improvement of public services and infrastructure. And then the county agrees to generally cooperate with the company as they go through this process of building the project, which is an enormous task, in a very tight timeline. In the agreement, it's assumed that the company will build up to 13 data center buildings, which we refer to as a quote unquote shell as we go forward in the presentation. And each of those have about 280,000 square feet in them. So there's not a commitment to build all these shells, but this is the parameters of a fully built out project, and is a way to measure progress through the different buildings that are built. So what will the company pay to the county? What contributions will it make to ease any impact, negative impact to the county as a result, and negate that? And then also provide a stronger community, a healthier community that allows the company to thrive in the future. So one area of need is going to be EMS. And the commissioners have negotiated a $5 million payment to EMS from Amazon. 2 of that will be up front, and then the remainder will come in increments as the additional buildings are built. So as you'll see, these payments are structured such that there's some initial impact, some significant improvements or issue to be addressed right up front. Then as you go on and the project continues to expand, there's greater needs in those areas. And that's why later on you see more of the payments come in over time. And that's the case with the EMS. And the fire is structured the same way. They're going to provide $4.92 million for fire protection services. 2.96 of that would be delivered at the start, and then the remainder would be come online just like the EMS in different increments as the buildings are built. Sheriff, again, $2.5 million contribution to the sheriff's department, 1.5 million 90 days within commencement of the rough grading, another million within 90 days of the certificate of occupancy being issued for the 4th shell. Also, the agreement contemplates contributions to the school system and to the library. Amazon would make a total of $800,000 in contributions to the high schools in the county. That would be $200,000 per high school. And then they would also make a $100,000 contribution to the county public library. So as you can see, as the terms of this agreement are laid out, there's an attempt to comprehensively address the needs of the county, both as a result of the project and to just build a stronger community going forward. Part of the contributions under the community enhancement agreement include contributions for infrastructure, and you can see them laid out there. And there's some for utility and other improvements, 4.9 million. And then there's also for road maintenance, and you can see how that is laid out there. Again, having funds that otherwise could not be foreseeable coming into the county at any time soon, available to improve the infrastructure for the long term for the county. Part of that is an understanding that Wheatfield has a need for water and sewer infrastructure improvements, and there's a $25 million contribution being made by Amazon for the purposes of upgrading the water and sewer infrastructure in the town, serving the town of Wheatfield. And that's going to come in two parts. The first $3 million would be paid by the end of this year. That would allow for the payment of engineering and preliminary expenses to design the improvements that are necessary for the town of Wheatfield. And then with the idea that we would go out, the town, with the cooperation of the county, would go out for bids to actually contract for that project as it's determined sometime in 2027. There would be another $22 million provided by Amazon to cover the construction costs. I know this was an important piece of this for the commissioners. With all these different projects underway and the additional services that are needed to be provided by the county to accommodate the project, the county's just not equipped at this point to handle a project of this magnitude through its staffing and internal personnel. And it's crazy, and nor should it, right? This is just a project that comes along, once in a lifetime. And in order to make sure that the county does not come out of pocket for that, Amazon's going to make a total of contribution of $5 million to cover engineering fees, inspection, construction oversight, professional fees, et cetera, so that there's no out of pocket impact of the project on the county. Within this community enhancement agreement, there's some other key terms that are not just dollars and cents. One is that the developer is going to purchase all the traffic signs that are necessary for the project. It's very important from everyone's perspective that a project of this scope with this kind of construction contract traffic be managed appropriately, and that's traffic signage just a part of that, but that is also otherwise contemplated in the agreement. Amazon is also willing to reserve a 250-acre portion of the project site as a nature preserve. And then, as I mentioned earlier, with respect to the roads and the impact that it'll have on the roads, the developer will enter into an agreement with the county that will provide for any necessary improvements to the roads that are needed to accommodate the use of the roads for the project, which is so different than what it normally is used at. And then a obligation on the part of the company to pay the cost of repair to the roads, et cetera, so that again, when the project's completed, the county is not left holding any expenses to repair its roads. And that's consistent with the overall theme of the agreement, which is that like I said, and also consistent with Amazon's approach to communities, is that they both the county doesn't want any impact, obviously, financially to the community. And to the extent its resources are being used, that they be replenished by the project. That's the same mentality with which Amazon has approached the project, and that they want to make sure that the community is stronger when this project is complete. So that covers the community enhancement agreement. Then, as I mentioned earlier, there's two other agreements that provide for certain incentives that are typical for data center projects of this magnitude. One is a real property tax abatement for 10 years. This would cover the buildings. And during that 10-year period, for each building, the company would give back to the county $515,000 over the life of the abatement. So when you look at if they were to do all 13 buildings, $515,000 per building times 10 years, at the end of the day, that's $66,950,000 to the county. There's also administrative fees, which are typical with a real property tax abatement in Jasper County. And that would be 3%, can't exceed $100,000 per year. So again, the cost of implementing the incentive is provided for through an administrative fees, so that the near $67 million that comes to the county portion of that does not need to be spent to administer the agreement. As I mentioned earlier, there's a personal property tax exemption for enterprise information technology equipment. And this was something put in place by the state legislature several years ago when it made a policy decision that Indiana wanted to attract more data centers. And it has come to fruition. You've all heard the discussion about around the state about data centers being interested in Indiana. And almost all of them have this technology equipment exemption. It would be over 35 years. During that time, the company would make payments back to the county similar to those made under the real property tax abatement agreement. And those would be in the amount of $1.25 million per building for the life of the exemption, 35 years. So if you look at if the project were to be fully built out, and that's, this is a maximum, then they would have 13 billions for 13 buildings for 35 years. At 1.25 million a building comes up to $568 million that would come back to the county. In addition, there's three $15 million payments that would be made in the near term. If things go as projected, they would be made by the end of 2028. And you can see on the screen there when those payments would be made. So when you put all that together, what does it look like? And again, I want to make the caveat that this is based on all 13 buildings being built. That's what Amazon has conveyed to us is their expectation. But we all know expectations can change, and something short of that could end up being built. There's no obligation on their part to build all 13 buildings. If they did build out as expected, you'd have total contributions under the community enhancement agreement of $53,420,000. As we saw when we went through them before, they're made earlier in the life of the project so that they can address the infrastructure and service needs that are necessary that come right from the start of having a project. Under the real property tax abatement agreement, as we talked about, there's over a 10-year period, there's close to $67 million in payments made. And then on the personal property over the 35-year period, there's almost $614 million in payments back to the county. So when you total all those together, it's $734,120,000 that would come directly to the county or for example, like Wheatfield, other, in the schools and the library, other community organizations. So through a lot of discussion and, the commissioners have worked with the company to try to come forward with a comprehensive agreement that address multiple needs for the county, both in the current time and also in the long term to strengthen the future of the county. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Well, Rick, as you mentioned, we know what the projected amount is. Through diligent conversation back and forth, we were able to get a secured amount for around 10 years. Do we know what that money is approximately?
Well, it'd be all the 53 to 420. It'd be the 67 million under the real property, and then it would be, I'm doing the math in my head.
I talked with Scott Walsh from the council. I think it was around 321.
That sounds right.
So so we understand what the projected amount is. If all would go as planned, they full build out. What could be that big number, but we didn't want to present to you folks. That's the guarantee. That's what we're getting. So through some creative conversations and some give and take between company and the county, we're able to get in at least this, I would say, lack of a better term, guaranteed amount for 10 years. That gives us the assurance to be able to build out this infrastructure. And then with discussions, the reason why it was important for us to try to get some chunks of money early in the project was with discussions with the council. We have intentions to invest those chunks of money to then start developing endowments that we can then use to help address local needs in the long term. Instead of spending that principal down, start building some revenue streams that we can then use to address county needs going forward, where we don't have to just raise taxes or add another this or that to try to pay for things. One of the reasons why it was important for us to address fire, EMS, and law enforcement right out of the gate was we already know through discussions with our local fire departments that volunteers, it's getting tougher to staff our departments fully with volunteers. So we do have a fire service study going on right now that is running concurrent with this to try to give us some funding options of what it may cost to start infusing some full-time paid fire staff throughout the county, maybe during daytime hours when it's tougher, when guys are working their jobs. So that's an ongoing conversation. Without any guarantee up to this point, the county has invested several $100,000 from our other EDA funds to help get Wheatfield equipped with some new extrication equipment, as I recall, and also for their EMS. And we know that the reason why we ask for some of these larger numbers is all our services and providers do mutual aid in our county. So if it affects Wheatfield adversely and those townships, it affects everybody else by the domino effect. So we're looking to try to figure out a way then to invest this money with the council and generate some long-term revenue then, and potentially with some other ideas coming forward. So that's where we were going. We also knew, I've heard during my time in county government on the council and here, how that it's been a problem for Wheatfield and Kankakee Township, Walker Township to be where they feel like they've been overlooked and underserved. And you have one of the towns in the county that does not have municipal water and needs an upgrade in their sewer system. And that was a primary negotiating point and priority for the three of us, was to secure money specifically for that need. Even though it's not out to Schaefer campus, it directly impacts the ability of the county and the town and the townships to be able to live through this, to work through this. So it was important for us to realize, to be able to capture funding for that infrastructure without having to float bonds and put debt on the taxpayers. The county's debt free. And as a result of this, that's a priority to continue to stay that way. We don't have to use your tax dollars to service debt. And I think that's a huge deal. And that's been a big priority for us in regards to that. Now, we know there are going to be other needs throughout the county, and that's why we're establishing our internal framework of how we want to invest this and address needs throughout the county as they come forward. But right now, we really felt it was a priority for that area where you folks have lived with, the solar stuff and other kinds of headaches that came before this. And at the top of our conversation has been, how do we work to navigate and enforce traffic? It's not going to be a free for all like it was during some of these solar projects. And at the time we didn't know what we didn't know. That's not necessarily an excuse, but it is a chance for us to learn and commit considerable resource. And as part of this agreement, as Rick mentioned, $5 million goes towards professional services, primary of which is construction compliance. That's our engineering firm, Butler, Fairman, and Seifert, which helps to work with the highway department, our engineer, manage our bridges and roads infrastructure. They work with our ADA and Title VI compliance, doing a traffic safety study with us. They managed the construction compliance with the wind project in the south. And so we engaged with them to be able to continue with this. They work with planning and development to make sure that permits are filed properly and followed. And so that's part of the teeth that the county has to make sure that this build out is done properly, not cutting corners, as designed, as promised. And so that some of that funding comes, we get to hire them. The company pays us to hire who we want. So they're not from the company. And so we worked very hard, Craig and Ryan, very diligent on making sure that the traffic impact, which we know is going to be excessive and extreme, is managed. And that's also why we secured funding for the sheriff's department so that we can divert funds for them to be able to create a traffic and safety division. So essentially officers specifically focusing on making sure that speed limits are followed, truck routes are followed, and employment times are followed. So we've had lots of extensive discussion. We know there's going to be a lot more on this. And we know it's going to land on that area for the next couple, 3 years, pretty tough. But we've made it clear that we want this to be as smooth as possible. And this gives the county an opportunity here. You know, we talk about economic incentive payments or abatements. It's not a forgiveness of the funds. It's a redirection. It directs that tax money to us ahead of time here so that we can actually be flexible with how we want to use it and invest it for the needs that we see. And there are other projects that we're going to be talking about where money is going to come into the normal assessed valuation of the county and is going to be likely reducing, some of those rates up in that area so that, we're not depriving the schools of the funding through the natural process. This isn't something we've taken lightly. And I know you folks have strong opinions one way or the other. We get that. We think about it. We thought about it probably every waking moment, every day here for the last several months. And this all started last year. I give Ryan Hilton credit. He got us a field trip up to New Carlisle to look at the projects that are going on up there. I remember driving home from that thinking, well, in a couple of years, we'll deal with this. And then it turns out it's a few months. We don't want to be like another county. We don't want multiple of these things. This is plenty. This is going to be a lot. But this is an amount of investment in the county that we weren't necessarily going out trying to bring here and tackle it to come here, but is in an area that is industrial, one of the only industrial areas in the county. And we're working to try to thread the needle here to embrace this industrial development in that area and still preserve Jasper County's ag heritage and priority. And we feel like, I know we're not wanting you to feel trampled. I know some of you may, but we tried to look at the whole big picture here. And what I've learned as being a commissioner, it's not about authority telling you all what to do, but it is about responsibility. And we have the responsibility to try to make sure that all our communities are funded and have the ability to develop responsibly. And we're committed to walk with Wheatfield and those townships up there to help walk through the process of comprehensive plans and working through the engineering, the design, and all that. I mean, we're not going to do it for them, but we will walk with them. And we aren't just giving blank checks to these areas and hoping it gets done. We're going to establish the process to continue so that there's accountability, so you folks can see where the money's going, what's been invested, and what's the resulting outcome of that investment. So I know a lot of you folks will leave here today and not be happy with us, and I understand that. But we had to look at how do we embrace the needs of the entire county going forward. And I know early on in our discussion, back when we did override the One Plan Commission early on, there was concern of state legislation that may cite these things from the state level and box us out at the county level. That didn't completely affect our decision, but it did influence it. No question about it. We've had much more effective conversations with the council and commissioners and planning and development and our construction compliance being directly involved in these negotiations on behalf of the county, instead of hoping that some state agency will care as much about Jasper County as we do. So that is a challenge. And maybe it didn't pass last year, but I have no doubt there are several, I look around, there are other counties that have currently tried to slap a moratorium or a ban on these things. And ultimately that's going to get challenged. I'm not hoping it does necessarily, but we cannot have and override state law when it comes to, legislation that they pass. So we have tried to demonstrate in Jasper County, I know you've probably heard me say it, you're probably sick of me saying it, but we've tried to take a balanced approach here in this county. We do have some wind. We have some solar. We'll potentially have this. And maybe that's it. Maybe we can say we've had enough. We played our part. We don't have to be overrun like other surrounding counties with 1,000 wind turbines or 4 or 5 times the solar panels that we have. We have the opportunity to establish what our priority is, and it's tried to be balanced. And I understand that puts a little bit of pressure on everybody, but we're trying to bear this burden and spread it out across every spectrum within the county. There are some provisions that, if they deviate and break, let's say they don't want to continue after a period of time, then that assessed valuation rolls back onto the tax rolls. It's not like they're not going to pay their taxes. They will. So that's where we've tried to angle this thing to give us flexibility up front, get some of these investments started early so that we can address the needs that are coming down the line. So I'm sorry for the sermon, but I just wanted you to know it's not like we're trying to be bullies here telling you guys what to do. We tried to be very mindful of the impact and what the needs are here. So Craig or Ryan, do you guys have any comments you care to make? And we will offer some time for you folks to have some public comment. There's a sheet back there. If you would put your name and address on there, if you have a comment you'd like to make. If you're on Zoom, you just have to let them know what your name and address is in the chat line so we don't have to broadcast it. And then Ashlyn will make sure that you get to say your comment. So Craig or Ryan though, and then I'll also give it up to Rick or Eric if you have any other comments that you guys need to make before we have public comment. Go ahead.
There has been a lot of thought and a lot of hours. I couldn't even begin to think of the hours that we spent on this. A lot of questions. Just being in this position for the last 2 years, I don't have anything else to go by, but I think the communication between the council and the commissioners, planning and development, the county highway, the sheriff's department, everybody that's going to be involved in this, if it ends up happening, has been enormous, sometimes redundant, just to make sure that we're seeing everything, taking everybody's concerns into order. How do we handle it? What if it to death? There's been comments made out there and everybody's seen it, that this is people feel that this is a rubber stamp and it's the furthest thing from it. There's been countless hours spent on this. Phone calls, emails. There's been people in this room that's emailed us all individually or as a group of commissioners, and I appreciate that. I'm thankful to see you all here today. It's too bad there wasn't a couple hundred more because I think people need to get involved. I encourage you to stay involved, not just on the day of the vote, but every meeting. Zoom is there for everybody. Council meetings are there. Our phone numbers are open to the public. Reach out to us. I know every one of us has been at somebody's house because of their concern, whether it be after work, during the day. We are your representatives, and we need to hear from you before the day of the vote. Being part of the process is your right, and I expect you guys to initiate your right and keep us informed with what you thought, and let us inform you with the facts that we have been given. Right? I know not everything's the same. No two snowflakes are the same. No two projects are the same. Right? These things don't fit everywhere. It's obvious that, we see some other states that are battling water issues, period, to have drinking water for their communities. And they're trying to establish these things. It doesn't make sense to me in those areas. And there'll be people that don't think this makes sense here either. But those were the two big concerns that the three of us had when we caught wind of this: is how are you going to power it and how are you going to cool it? Right? There's been talk since we've been through this process about, you guys haven't even waited to get the results back from the water study yet. We haven't. We initiated that water study in the beginning off the purpose of the fact that they're going to draw groundwater to cool these things until we found out that they didn't. Now I see this as a perfect tool for planning development. If we know where our water is in our community, the planning commission can better do their job when they're citing subdivisions, when they're citing industrial buildings, manufacturing. If we have those ideas of where those things are, when we're citing a CAFO, is there enough water there just to sustain the CAFO with the houses around it? I think it's a very good tool that we'll be able to use for many, many years. I do appreciate the people who've reached out in the comments. We're getting until, just before the meeting, and last night I got quite a few comments in, and thank you for being part of the process. Whatever you take away from this, don't stop being part of the process. Keep us informed. That's the only way we can do our job effectively.
Yeah, I think to that point too, water was also top issue. The fact that they're using the same infrastructure that Schaefer's been using for 50 years. And we know nothing is unlimited, but that they've been able to function there and ultimately be using less than what when the coal was at its full capacity. So that's once again something that construction compliance looks to monitor to make sure we have as part of this. I know that's public information. A lot of you guys find that, but one of the things company needs to do is pass along their report, their usage report that they send to the state, make sure that we get informed in this process as well. So Ryan?
Not much I can say that isn't going to sound like a broken record. A lot of what they said is reiterated by me. I do want to thank the local officials at the town and township levels for sitting down and having the opportunity to vet what they see and hear from their people and their communities. There's a lot of good conversation that came from that. A lot of those direct concerns, you folks, they see it, they live it every day. I live in the next town to the west, right? So having them sitting at the table through these conversations and getting the opportunity to figure out what is needed, where it's needed, that's very helpful to us in these navigational tools, understanding what the hardships were that were gone through the solar development, seeing where the marks were missed, help us build that out and make that better. The betterment of our communities is first and foremost. I can't reiterate that enough. I've said this numerous amount of times. I'm 38 years old. I'm going to see this project to the end, whether I'm in this position or not. And I'm going to continue here to live for generations. And I don't want to sit back and go, boy, we really either knocked this out of the park or I've got massive regrets. I've got friends who live within a half a mile and I couldn't personally live with myself if I intentionally ruined lives over this. And that's not the intent at all. It truly isn't. To see an opportunity to develop, to see an opportunity to grow within our community is important to me. To bring opportunity to kids in those areas and the schools in our county are important to me as my kids grow in this community as well. I appreciate the opportunity for those who have had the willingness to sit and listen. There's been a lot of combative conversation back and forth, this, that, the other. Information is information. We've got to take what we have and entrust in that. I made the analogy a couple times already. I said, a long, long time ago, somebody decided to say 2 + 2 = 4, and they had to tell somebody and convince them of that. And we believe that to this day. I've got to take the information that's provided to me and utilize that in decision makings moving forward. I don't want to see anybody's well water dry up. I don't want to lose water myself. We know where it's going to come from out of the river, and we know how it's monitored. There's a lot of agriculture that relies on that water, and I know that's one of the major concerns that I've heard. We can go down the tax abatement laws, we can go down these routes, but to have the direct payments to help develop communities locally, first and foremost, is important. I sat and talked to trustees and EMS directors and things like that and go, what's it going to take? How's it going to be? What's it going to look like? All we can do is pray for the best and do what we see as most fit for the communities. I look forward to seeing the opportunities that this is going to bring. And I got to be honest about that. I'm scared to death, but I think we all are. You know, any development is scary at first. 50 years ago when NIPSCO Shaper was built, I'm sure the same conversations were being had. It's been an energy producer. We're trying to make this better and right. We know there's still massive things and hiccups along the way that people don't trust in NIPSCO. And we've learned from that as well. And we're continuing to learn from that. So I just appreciate the opportunity to serve you all in this capacity in making some of these decisions and knowing that your concerns are not taken lightly anywhere. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Craig. Rick or Eric, any other thoughts that we maybe missed as we made our comments before we allow for public comment?
I'd just like to say thank you to all the commissioners and also the council and all the elected officials that I've dealt with and working on this project. When I first started my work for the county in 2011-ish or so, the government officials at the time were not so directly involved. And I've seen it evolve over time that we have now 3 commissioners who are all equals, who are all very dedicated and spend a lot of time. I don't know how this is a part-time job for you, because the questions that come to me directly from the 3 of you indicate that you're spending 10 times as much time doing things before you ever ask me a question. And it's been a privilege for me to be able to work on this project. And just the impossibility that the town of Wheatfield would ever be able to have municipal water and sewer with no debt, to see that be able to happen, and then to know that that's probably about 6% of the value of this project to the county. It's something that I think is transformative. And I appreciate the commissioners trusting me to work on this project. And I really appreciate the special counsel Rick Hall.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure to work with you. I've been so impressed with the commissioners and council, how they work together. And I've worked in this community for a long time, care about it. And I feel strongly that these are good, solid agreements for the community.
You've heard the details here, kind of an overview. Obviously agreements will be made available once, if we pass and sign these. But before we do that, we would open up some time here for public comment. If you signed and put your name on the paper and you'd like to come forward, state your name and address and share your comment. We can give 3 minutes a person. Do you have anything? What's that?
Do we have this?
Yeah, it's back there. Yeah.
Your address is on the sheet. They don't have to give your address.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. Yeah, it's a good point. It doesn't have to be recorded in the audio version, as well as on Zoom. As long as it's in the chat, then we can do that. Okay, thank you. Okay, we do have a nice list here. Startup, first one would be Brianne Hooker. And as Steve Jordan mentioned here, everyone's name that's on here has written their address down, so we have that. Thank you.
Good morning. Brian Hooker, and I'm here to speak on behalf of the Community Foundation and the donors in Jasper County. In the late 1960s, okay, so time me, it's 3 minutes. I counted words. All right.
He's got it going.
Okay. In the late 1960s, both Norway and the United Kingdom discovered enormous oil reserves in the North Sea. Both received a nice once in a generation opportunity. The difference was what they chose to do with it. The United Kingdom largely spent its new wealth in the short term. Norway invested significant portion into a permanent trust for the community for future generations. Today, that fund is worth more than $1 trillion and continues to create opportunity decades after that oil was discovered. I think that story is important because Jasper County is facing its own rare opportunity today. Rural communities have very few ways to significantly grow their tax base. We're not becoming a major urban center. We are not attracting thousands of new residents. In many ways, that's exactly why we choose to live here. We value our small towns, our farmland, and our sense of community and our quality of life. What makes this opportunity unique is that it allows us to strengthen our community without sacrificing those things. We can remain rural while gaining resources that most rural communities never have access to. The question before us is not simply how much money this project may generate. The question is whether we have the vision to convert this temporary opportunity into a permanent legacy. That's why I believe that there should be a portion of these funds that are for the community should be placed into an endowment fund at the Jasper Newton Foundation. An endowed fund creates a lasting resource for the community, generating support for year after year for local priorities while preserving the principle for future generations. It outlasts politics, elected officials, it avoids pet projects and bad leadership, and keeps the community empowered. I've done some preliminary math, and with a sufficient investment, the fund like this could immediately replace approximately $550,000 in annual quality of life grants that are currently being funded through the county budget. Those tax dollars could be returned to the county budget to pay for things like infrastructure, which is what tax dollars were intended for. Most communities spend decades trying to build permanent resources like this, and we have an opportunity to do that now. This is more than an economic development project. It is a chance to create lasting wealth, to preserve our rural way of life, and provide future generations with opportunities that rural communities are too often denied. The decision made today will echo for decades. My hope is that we do not only think about this opportunity and what it does for us now, but what it can do for the people who call Jasper County home in 50 years from now. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is it Tom Martello? Okay.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to come here and present our opinions and feelings with regard to this project. And little by little, I learn more, and little bit by little, it sounds like a really viable project to proceed with. But do so in an effort to maintain vigilance over it. This is a huge national issue that we're dealing with, these data centers, and I didn't realize this was going to be 13 buildings with the square footage that's being dedicated to it. That there in its own right is a huge facility that I would fear it being changed to other uses as things mature. You have the foresight to look down the road here 30, 35 years. Your immediate upfront funding sounds something that will really help this community, from the emergency service, the sheriff, the fire, the schools, that every one of these entities that needs this kind of funding. I've spent my entire adult life dealing with elected officials and seeing that municipalities or the local government that I work with would reap the benefits of such projects. And I think that's what we have a great opportunity to do here. I've heard a lot of bad things about this, or negative things about this, and a lot of positive things. And I feel much better hearing firsthand today what the project entails and continuing this transparency that needs to be shared with the general public here, your electorate. So thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. I support the board's decisions no matter which way you go in this. You certainly have a good handle on it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your comments. Randall Ferguson?
Hello. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I am a Wheatfield resident, was born in Rensselaer, raised in Wheatfield, and it was my dream to retire on my family's land as a third generation landowner. And 3 months ago, I was able to achieve that, and I am on my family's land as a third generation. And my dream was to retire there and pass it to my next generation. But I was excited to hear when NIPSCO was starting to be phased out because of the pollutions that NIPSCO had. My grandparents, the first generation on my land, died of so many cancers and diseases, most of which can be attributed to pollutions from the NIPSCO plant, that the doctors stopped looking for more because they couldn't treat the ones they already had. So it's my big confusion to know that we had a NIPSCO plant that we learned from and started to phase out, to now replace it with something else. I wanted to put a small business on my land and was told I could not because it's deemed agricultural, and those zonings are there to protect that agricultural land. But it seems to me that companies like NIPSCO and Amazon can put in whatever they want and poison my land because they have big pocketbooks. I love all the infrastructure improvements you guys want to do. I appreciate that you want to do them, but I do not think that the poison and the pollutions and the effects that that plant is going to have versus that. I think generations to come will look at it the same way we look at NIPSCO and say, this was a big mistake to our community. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you for your comments, sir. Carly Schroeder.
Hello. October, November of 2025, there were no plans, just a rezone. Then it was 9 buildings. Then it was an additional land to be paved for a parking lot for more than 1,000 vehicles. Then it was the removal of the ordinance to cap the 60-foot building limit, and now it's just discretionary, because that's in the best interest of our community. Commissioners, it seems like we're having an issue in understanding our agricultural landscape. Now we're wanting 13 buildings instead of 9. You can kind of understand why we're starting to have whiplash from this. Now we don't want to wait and we want to start construction now. Amazon prides itself on opening data centers within 12 to 18 months after breaking ground. Would the peaker plant be done by then? If not, that's an extreme burden on our community's current infrastructure. So in order to protect our community, Amazon has also mentioned that our bills might go up, but it's not going to be because of the data center, because they're paying their own way. Contrary to that statement, data centers run 24/7. This creates their own microclimate. Industrial analysis showed that the data centers raise local land surfaces and air temperature up to 6.2 miles away. It's a known phenomenon called data heat islands. Temperature changes from data heat islands have been recorded up to 16 degrees hotter. That isn't going to impact our bills. But guys, it's a data center race, right? Against China. Oh wait, the United States has 5,427 data centers and China has 449. So let's be real. Let's talk about the facts. Since the thermal footprint impacts agricultural within a 6-mile radius, let's talk about their cooling methods. Their air-cooled method releases hot, dry air, and studies show that it primarily impacts soy, and corn. What do we grow here? The accelerated soil drying and temperature spikes actually damage the soybeans because they are not able to cool overnight, producing lower yields, if not killing the crops entirely. Water cooled releases hot vapor being released in the summertime during droughts, severely increasing humidity, leading to increased risk of pests, fungus, root rot, mold, mildew. Have you warned the community of these risks? We are an agricultural community, so we're going to be decreasing our yields and decreasing our quality. Now, it should also be noted that these data center heat islands can increase severe weather. We've had tornadoes, we've seen them tear up the solar panel fields, we've had them land on our properties. I'm one of the people. I live within a mile radius of NIPSCO, and I live right across from a solar panel field. They were all over my property. Now, you might be thinking, how will these data centers affect people and livestock? Nashville Zoo is currently fighting data centers due to substantial claims that both the noise and light pollution negatively impact breeding, egg production, Is that the end of my time?
Ma'am, that's 3 minutes.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead and finish. That's fine.
It's disrupting breeding, egg production, circadian rhythm, elevated flight or fight hormones, which is cortisol and adrenaline. This would impact our agriculture as it's going to impact our meat production. It affects the meat quality due to chronic stress, reduces milk production. And we are pretending that this is the best way our community can proceed. Now let's talk about the measurable decreases in property value, something that we have talked about at length in the past. What about the loss of our crops? What about the measurable loss and our health in this community? It's not just a headache. Lastly, you discussed increasing policing and enforcing. Let me bring up Flock. Flock is a camera security surveillance system that actually uses 5G towers. Good thing Wheatfield just put in one. Now, why am I bringing up Flock? Flock has 3 active class action lawsuits, 5 constitutional civil suits, and dozens of criminal appeals. Why am I bringing this up? Amazon stores their data. That's what we're bringing to our community. Thank you.
Paul Schroeder.
I'll give back some of my times for her. It was nice of you to admit that basically Jasper County's in over their head on this one-time project because they've never experienced anything like this before. Simple questions. I've seen the no construction traffic signs go up. Who's going to monitor that? How's it enforced? What's the penalty? Or is it just we put a sign up and everybody should play nice and go by the signage? I'm just kind of curious about that. Property value. This is a benefit to the county. What's it going to do to the landowners that are immediately around that area? The solar panels have already decreased the property values in that area. Just kind of seems like right now we're headed towards Kankakee Township is Jasper County's toilet. It's what it feels like. The solar panels, you guys are right. When those things were being built, the traffic around there, people driving like assholes up and down the road because they got to get to work. I understand, got to get to work. People live around there. There's a tractor going up and down the road. You can't just whip out and drive like you're the only person that's got something important to do. This whole thing just smells like hell. Thanks.
So any future comments, if you guys wouldn't mind refrain from clapping, we let it go for this point, but this is here to get your comments. Okay, thank you. Dennis Clark.
How you doing? I'm Dennis Clark. I support a lot of stuff that the last 2 people said. Some of the stuff they did forget though was like, there's issues with brain bleeds, turbo cancer, psychological disorders. One of the big ones, I already pay $110 a month just for sewage. So I can imagine the water bills are gonna come, especially when it dries up wells, which is like what, $8,000 to dig another one. So is there any money gonna be put aside for that kind of stuff? Amazon is an evil company. The fact that the number 13 is in there shows it. So, and a lot of stuff that they're not talking about either is a lot of these data centers are in the end going to be used for our surveillance. They don't say that kind of stuff, when they throw the money around. So they throw that money around so people think it's a good deal. But like I said, I think it's a complete nightmare. Like I said, I moved here because I wanted the quietness, and that's all going to go away. Thanks.
Yes, sir. So Mary Lennox.
First, I'll start with read the room. Your communities do not want this. And NIPSCO has promised things in the past when they built that they never did. There was no checks and balances. Amazon, Jeff Bezos is worth $240 billion. We're giving these people a tax break while Indiana and people are going to have to support this. You want to find out what your communities want? Hold a special election. Have a vote on this. To all of you. You can sit there and smirk all you want, but you guys work for us. You work for us. We do not want this. We don't care about the dirty money and the dirty water it brings. These are our communities, our farmland. I work with farmers. Farmers don't want this. Who wants this? I'm just curious. Who wants this? You guys? What are you benefiting from this? What's the benefit?
The benefit is to the county.
The county don't want this. We are the county.
The county is 33,000 people. How do we?
Yeah, take a vote. Take a special election because I've seen your guys' post. I've seen all the posts and I don't see anybody wanting this besides you guys here voting. And shame on you if you vote to put this in to your communities and take people's water, their quietness. They're going to be here humming all day freaking long, dirty water or dried up wells. In Lake Tahoe, 49,000 residents now have to find a way to supply their electricity because of these data centers. That is ridiculous that we are allowing this. Jeff Bezos and NIPSCO make enough money. We don't want their dirty money once again. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Gary Dunlap.
All I'm gonna say is nobody that I have ever talked to wants these data centers. And as you can tell, nobody wants.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you. Doreen Ray.
Let's do it here.
That's fine. That's fine.
I just really have a few, I mean, I might be behind a ball. I had some life issues going, so I may be asking redundant questions, but I figured out that you guys are using the water from the river, and you made a comment earlier that they are telling us that it's gonna use the same amount of water as coal. Is that correct?
It would be operating under the permit that NIPSCO has had in up to this point in legacy use. So they would not be using or exceeding what that current draw is. And that for the data center specifically, they would use 8 million gallons for the year, not a week, not a day.
Okay, so then, so is that with all 13 up and operational?
Yes.
That's what the water usage will be. Who's gonna monitor that? They are.
So they have to, NIPSCO and so forth, I understand, has their permit from the state. And so, so part of the reporting comes to the county as to what they're doing. And that's part of the responsibilities of our construction compliance monitor is to make sure that the parameters that they've agreed to are actually adhered to.
Construction clients, they're gonna be involved in the 35 years of doing this?
They're gonna be involved certainly throughout the construction period. And then, yeah, as we need to retain them for additional monitoring. I mean, I don't know what it'll be like in 35 years. There will be.
Are they gonna be reporting back?
It would come back to the county.
Okay, and then, well, yeah, that would be my next question. So they are gonna have, even though they're saying it's gonna be a closed loop still evaporation, whatever, they're obviously gonna need more water, but they do have a discharge where they do a flush, where's that going?
Everything goes through the intake pond and the discharge pond that NIPSCO currently uses. So it's treated before it's discharged back into the river under the same procedures that Schaefer's been doing for years.
So monitoring that.
IDM.
Yeah, discharge back to the river is IDEM, intake out of the river is DNR.
Correct.
Okay, and again, is that going to get reported back to you guys?
Yes.
Yeah. They'll give us those live numbers as well as they have to report back to the DNR and
Right.
IDEM.
Right. So my next question is, if they use more water than that they're saying, and if there's contaminations in that water, then what?
There's actually statute in place, IC code, around the discharge or around the intake of water. And if they go over that limit, there's already state code as far as penalty. That permit is issued by the DNR. So they would be the governing body over what they can take in out of the river. And the discharge would be then obviously IDM back in. And they have their IC code for penalties already established also.
So you're saying the state is gonna make them be held
Correct.
accountable? So then what is that for Jasper? So like if they drain our wells dry?
Well, I mean, this was brought up at the last council meeting too, and I think it was very well stated. We're talking about two different water sources, right? We're talking about surface water when we talk about the river, and our well water is our subsurface water, right? They don't really balance each other. What you have in the river, and that's part of the appeal to go here, is because they have that river access, and they already have the permit issued by the DNR that NIPSCO's been using under their allowable usage a day. That gives them plenty of water to use out of the river still, and don't have to build the infrastructure, obviously, to do that, right? They just got to pipe in through the intake well or intake pond to get their water.
But I mean, again, with it being the data center and the coal, we're working with two different contaminants. So on the other end of it, on their discharge water, and let's say they get contaminated. So now who is gonna hold them accountable?
That would be IDM. They're the one. IDM is the one that's responsible for anything discharged. Yep. They're the ones that give the permit for them to discharge.
So, yeah, I don't trust IDM, and that's why I wanna know if it's coming back to you, and if there's not gonna be any recourse for that, like. If our water in our rural communities that are dependent on wells that the build infrastructure that they're gonna get, which is great, I'm glad for that, is not gonna affect me and my well water. So what happens if my well water gets contaminated, like for me personally, like if, you know, I mean, what do we need to do to prove that our well water's been contaminated based on that?
Yeah, I guess I'm having a hard time following how it would get contaminated when they're going back into a pond and back into the river. I mean, I don't. Well, that's a different thing. That you're talking about the ash ponds on the south side, right? Yes.
We are in a very sandy,
Porous soil.
soil,
Yep.
so things happen. So I just somehow wanna know, you know, what are we as a rural community that's not gonna be affected by these water treatment plants? Like, what are we gonna do about our water with, well, like you said, we're not gonna run out supposedly. But if we get contaminated, like what do we have to guarantee our water?
Yeah, I think there's actually, is Landon still in the room? Yeah. So you want to touch just a little bit on soil water conservation and what you're offering right now to everybody?
That there was state statute put in place that protected the small water users.
You come up to the microphone so they can hear you on the recording, please. Sorry to call you out like that. You're much more versed than I am on this.
I can only draw on my memory when the dairies came in, we had a lot of concern about groundwater issues. And in fact, groundwater was heavily impacted at that time. And I'm pretty sure at the time, state code was crafted to protect small water users from those large water users. So that's the best my member can tell you is I'm pretty sure there's state code in place that would protect you from that situation.
So we can get our water tested now.
Well, I'm talking about volume and quantity,
I know.
right?
But I'm also
Rather than
saying
quality.
contaminants are gonna be an effect as well. So the only way I can say to get protection is to get our groundwater tested now before all this happens.
So aquifer systems, which are what's happening underground, there's a filtration that's happening all the time as water moves up and down from the surface to the groundwater. So, you know, it depends on proximity, how close are you to this source? Depends on the pollutant, depends on the chemistry of the pollutant. So like each individual case really is that. It's very individual. I don't know how close you are to that location. But I would, yeah, geologically, the closer you are, the more potential impact, the farther away, the less impact. So it just depends on where you are, what the situation might be. And I'm not familiar with what the pollutants would be coming out of a data
well,
center situation.
Yeah,
It was
I think it would be considerably less than a coal plant, and that's eventually going to be shut down.
I did hear a comment from a gentleman from a conservation organization. I'm sorry, I can't remember which one it is. Anyway, his comment was on water quality, that if anything, it might be too clean because they have to clean that water maybe with an RO system to get out any calcium and other kinds of things, iron that would clog those coolant lines. And he said that if anything, it may come out too clean for the ecosystem, right? Those organisms that live there. Yeah, that pure distilled water is not what they need for survival. So I'm just repeating what someone else who I respected in that area has said. So
I mean, to your comment also, Doreen, one of the concerns we have and why, at least why I felt it was important to get municipal water for Wheatfield. We have neighboring counties where neighbors' wells and septics are too close. And there's contamination there, not from industrial sources, but from poor planning. So how do we prevent that? Because that's a hot area for growth, is that whole area up there. So how do we help mitigate that concern?
And like I mentioned, I am glad that Wheatfield is being focused on for water and sewer. I think that's a great thing. I'm just not in there and I have well water and I'm not gonna get sewer, septic anytime soon.
Yeah, I do think the goal, there is potential though, that water system could extend beyond the boundaries and potentially come close to matching up with what's coming from Demont, so that we're going to have, municipal sources beyond just the town limits. I mean, to help the north end of the county with responsible development. So
My other quick question is there a plan in the 13 buildings? Is one of them going to be a battery storage or one or more going to be battery storage? Why do we need the fire?
no, I mean, battery storage that I'm aware of is not part of the conversation.
So I can let you sit down. Have you guys implemented the water sampling through SWCD yet? That's what I brought you up there
A
for.
number of years ago, we have data from surface water. We didn't, I'll have to recall whether we did any groundwater. Maybe a few individuals sent well samples to be tested.
Do you still offer that?
Oh, well, we're going to at Fair this year.
So it'll be a free well sample?
Well, it'll be a cost share.
Okay.
Right, depending on what you want to have done. But we use Heidelberg Water Labs in Ohio from Heidelberg College.
You'll have the kits there available?
Yeah. We will, yeah. And there is some existing data that we have that really dates back maybe 30 years. Yeah, again, it depends on where you live and how close you were to the testing site, but yeah, okay.
That's what I was trying to get out of you. Thanks.
Okay.
Can I?
Thank you, Doreen. Did you?
Those as we speak, DNR, they're working with us. They want you to call DNR to get our wells tested prior to these CAPOs. We're praying they don't happen, but David Goliath.
Okay.
Everybody should have
you.
a baseline.
Yeah. Deb Kemp. What's that? Clemp. I'm sorry.
I appreciate the time and the thought that you've put into this, but we're looking at a mega system that nobody really is aware of how it's going to impact everything around it. These systems haven't been around long enough for us to see what some of the results can be. And some of the results that are coming back are not what we would like to hear. Even some of the closed systems they're finding are not being able to stay a closed system. They have had to reconstruct or it has leaked out, and that is a very big concern. We also farm within a 2-mile radius of this. In our farming practices, we have taken poor soil and spent 40 years to make it viable soil. We have also used different well systems and that have been very much monitored by the state for us to have productive land. Some of those are not even deep wells. We cannot get deep wells because we do run into rock bed. So some of those wells are only 8 foot deep and they're linear. That will be lost if the aquifer goes down. The last 4 years, as we've been monitoring the river has not, it has been going down year after year. It has not stayed up. I don't know if that's weather related or what it is accustomed to or how it ended up that way, but that has been going down. And again, it's another concern. Here's another drain on that waterbed or watershed. How are we going to deal with that? There's no way any amount of monetary resources can take care of life, whether that life be animals, whether that life be human, whether that life be plants. I mean, there's no way you can put a monetary value on any of those things. I personally have experienced in our family and almost every farmer down the road that I live on that is directly in line with the NIPSCO, cancers that have either really taken a toll on these people's health or has killed them. And it's not just one kind of cancer, it's many kind of cancers. And it affects me personally. So with all of this going on, I am asking that you please take a little more time. Please look into this a little more deeply. Check into what the effects these systems have had on other areas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ryan Schultz.
Hi there. So I've actually spoke to some of you guys directly. I know you from various conservation, wetland type stuff. My biggest concern with just everything is it seems that you guys kind of already have a plan, of course, right? And we can appreciate the plan is to help the community. The concern is on the individual. A lot of homes. I coach baseball with a lot of people that live in the area. I myself am 3 miles away. I can speak to the water levels not coming up like they normally would. My pond's still pretty low. The biggest concern for me is what happens if it does affect us. So when it comes to air quality, water quality, soil quality, the water tables themselves, if we don't have a baseline, we have no recourse. How do you prove where you were if you can't see that? So in the end, this thing could come in and it could help the community and it could hurt nobody, and in which case that's the best of all worlds, correct? But if we don't actively figure out where we are at right now before this happens, we have no recourse to stop it in the situation. I'm sure you guys all live here. I know most of you. And I'm sure none of us want to see our community go down the toilet. So what you've done does seem like you are thinking of the community that much. I appreciate. I just want to know that if this ever turns and goes the wrong direction, that we knew where we were so we could pull the plug. If the plug can't be pulled, like on some sort of legal basis, there's nothing we're going to be able to do. So my concern is establishment. I don't think it should be on the individual. I don't think she should have to call the DNR to get that done. If you leave it up to the individual, let's be realistic, it's not going to happen. People have jobs. I myself work like 70 hours a week. I will be doing mine, but realistically, that area is the bullseye, right? And then so it should be more and more testing as you get farther away from it. My big thing is if you could, and I've mentioned this before, but greatly look into setting baselines. What is the soil quality right there? What is the soil quality a few miles out? And I'm not saying like just now. It needs to be tested semi-annually, annually at least, just so we know if it is getting to where it is causing potential cancers or something along that line, that we are kind of noting where we were and we have the potential to pull a plug if the plug needs pulled. If we don't know where we were, they can just blame it on everything else that we've been doing for 100 years, blame it on pesticides that we use, blame it on fertilizer that we use. And we wouldn't know, we'd have no fight, right? So, in the end, I hope this all ends well for everybody, right? You don't want to see something like this happen and it just turns south and a bunch of people potentially get sick, property values. And I guess my last one, just, I know I'm timed up here, but my last one is just property value assessment. I don't think individuals should be paying a few $100s, $1,000 to have their house property value assessed now. So that way, if the property value does drop, if selling your home, you have to take a $200,000 bath, that I don't think that should be on the individual. So I personally think especially the bullseye area, as you get farther out, it's less important, but up close, especially, and I'm speaking from a place of, again, I'm not that far. I don't know that it would affect me or not, but I would like to know where I am, and I'm sure everyone else would too, so we can be made whole in that situation. So again, I think the big thing is don't put it on the individual. I think the county is choosing to take this on, and if that's the case, they should be actively choosing to set the baseline. That's my opinion. So,
Couple questions, Ryan, before you sit down. I mean, you live, like, say, 3 miles away, been to your house. What would you, from your opinion, I mean, you're a former NIPSCO employee, you run a business now. What would you say is a good circumference for us to go from if we were going to establish a baseline?
well, so
I mean, if we're X amount of miles away and we
Yeah.
start seeing an issue, we don't need to be further than that, right? We know there's an issue now.
Yeah. So I do have a degree in construction engineering. And with that, you learn about percolation rates. Sand is one of the highest percolation levels, meaning that the water flows pretty freely right through it. You mentioned the river and the water levels. Maybe not under the clay layer, but above the clay layer is definitely affected by the river levels. The further you get from it, you see it. But even at my 3 miles, like at my pond will go up and down with the river. We are in a high percolation area. We are in sand. It does flow pretty readily through it. I mean, if you ever just drop a bottle of water on your sand and it just takes it away, I mean, that's what we feel is. I mean, sand's great, but it does move quickly. I couldn't tell you an exact number. I think there's people that would know better than I. Someone on like the soil scientist range, in which case, the health department has many of those soil scientists, use them all the time for home related items. I think those soil scientists could probably tell you better what's an effective range than myself. I don't think I have the background. I just know how to put the right people in the right places.
Appreciate your comments. I really do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Michelle Hoffman. Okay.
You're not gonna talk.
Okay. Crystal, are you here to read a statement? Okay. So Crystal Bassett is here.
I'm here to read a statement from Sarah DeYoung with Jasper County Economic Development. She says, "Thank you for the opportunity to provide a few comments regarding the AWS agreements. Over the past several months, county officials, legal counsel, staff, consultants, and AWS representatives have spent countless hours reviewing, negotiating, questioning, and refining these terms. While there have been difficult conversations and challenging issues to work through, the process reflects the seriousness which Jasper County has approached one of the most significant economic development opportunities to its history. These agreements represent far more than a development project. They represent substantial investment in the future of Jasper County and provide resources that can help address needs that have existed for decades. Collectively, the agreements providing funding for emergency medical services, fire protection, law enforcement, roads, schools, libraries, infrastructure planning, professional support services, and community development initiatives. They include $25 million commitment toward water infrastructure, improvements, millions for road maintenance and traffic management, millions of dollars for public safety services, and additional economic development commitments that will help position Jasper County for future success. The project itself is expanded to bring billions of dollars in private investment and hundreds of high-quality jobs while creating opportunities for local contractors, suppliers, and businesses throughout the construction and operational phases. At the same time, it is important to recognize that a project of this scale is transformative. Growth of this magnitude brings opportunities, but it also brings challenges. Increased demands on infrastructure, public services, and local government are real considerations that must be planned for and managed responsibly. What I appreciate about these terms is that they reflect the effort by the county officials to recognize both realities. They acknowledge the value and opportunity this project represents while remaining mindful of the responsibilities that come with it. Throughout this process, elected officials have worked to maximize the benefits for Jasper County while remaining conscious of community needs, long-term planning, and protecting the interest of local taxpayers. No agreement can eliminate every future challenge, but these commitments provide Jasper County with resources, flexibility, and tools to protectively address those challenges rather than to simply react to them. Sarah would like to thank the commissioners, county council, legal counsel, county staff, consultants, and AWS representatives for the tremendous amount of time and effort invested in reaching this point. To NIPSCO, thank you for the opportunity to provide a few comments regarding the economic development agreement associated with the NIPSCO's proposed peaking generation facility. This project represents an estimated $759 million private investment in Jasper County and an important investment in the energy infrastructure that supports Northwest Indiana and the broader region. Over the past several months, county officials, legal counsel, consultants, and NIPSCO representatives have worked through the details of this agreement to ensure that Jasper County receives meaningful benefits while protecting the interest of local taxpayers. I would like to thank everyone involved for the time and effort that they have invested throughout that process. The framework provides for approximately $18.75 million in direct economic development payments to Jasper County over a 10-year period. These resources can support future economic development initiatives, infrastructure improvements, community priorities, and investments that strengthen Jasper County's long-term competitiveness and quality of life. Importantly, the framework also includes provisions designed to protect the county's interest over time. It establishes a minimum assessed value threshold and includes mechanisms to ensure local taxing units continue to receiving benefits even if future challenges in tax law occur. As with many major infrastructure projects, there will be responsibilities and challenges that come with development of this scale. However, this agreement reflects an effort to balance those considerations while creating long-term value for Jasper County residents. Ultimately, this project represents both an investment in critical energy infrastructure and an investment in Jasper County's future. The agreement before you today seeks to ensure that the benefits of this investment extend beyond the project site and provide lasting value to the community. That's the end of Sarah's comments.
Okay.
Thank you.
Her comments covered kind of both topics here. I think to Ryan's concern about, that's, part of what we're concerned about could be tasked with construction compliance as far as to help establish some local baselines. So that's a conversation that we can have. And that's partly why we would have, we have that funding component to help us, determine some of these factors. So that would be certainly a conversation to be followed up on. All right, fellas, we've talked this through. We've heard the comments. We thank you for your comments. You're familiar with the numbers. Oh, you're right. Good point. Thank you. Donna, do we have anybody on Zoom who wish to make a comment? And if they put their address in the chat, you can allow them to comment. Is there anybody?
Yeah.
What's that? Okay.
Hello, can you hear me? The chat is disabled, so nobody can put their address in there.
What's the story?
Give like a minute. That's it.
Okay. How many?
Only 2 people.
All right, there's 2 Zoom people. They're trying to figure out how to unmute so they can comment. So we'll give them that moment. So sorry for the delay here.
So since this is the largest project Jasper County has had, and since it's such a hot topic.
You want to come up and
No, it's real, why can't your name special election and let the.
Ma'am, I have your name for the record.
Dawn.
Dawn what?
Jefferson,
Thank you.
wouldn't that be the easiest with a project this that everyone is so worked up about, just
Well,
a special election?
theoretically referendums like that would be I mean, sure, I suppose it's possible, but it's not terribly practical. And that's also why we have a representative republic here, that you vote for people to try to, work through these responsibilities on behalf of the people to get.
And obviously did vote, you guys are obviously upset with the project. So since it's
after they've seen.
everybody in the community is,
We-
so why not let it go to?
We had community outreach. I don't know the practicality of it, honestly, personally, of how that would work, but we did have a community outreach where a lot of these topics were discussed and you could talk with.
Some. In the area already.
And those were decisions certainly made before our time. Understand? I understand.
Again, other communities have done it, held special elections. This is a hot topic.
I don't know if they've done it on a topic like this.
Yep. This isn't like California where you can have a special referendum.
Very.
Well, but he would have.
The answer is no, there's not a state law that allows for project referendums.
We're not asking state law, we're asking just for our county, Jasper County.
Right, but-
Residents go to the courthouse and make a vote.
But
To help you hold your opinion on whether your constituents want it or not.
well,
Because you're supposed to be voting on what your constituents want.
Exactly.
So hold something at the county, there's people that have different shifts, we all have an opportunity to show up and cast our vote, yay or nay. If you're voting for us, then you should be able to give us all an opportunity.
thank you.
On paper.
Thank you for the thoughts. I understand that, but once again, counties just can't write their own election law.
No, they're supposed to be based on what the people that you work for.
Here's a little thing that did factor into our thinking here. And once again, we're trying to make decisions. I understand these are concerning issues, but I went down the previous session because back in the day, what we enjoy is home rule. In other words, local zoning and permitting and negotiating on these projects was originally powers that were given to us by the state legislature years ago. I don't even know when that was. Maybe Rick or Eric might know. 1980. There's a continuous now threat to strip those powers away and box us out of being able to make these decisions locally. And so Doreen has concerns about IDEM as a state agency. How would it go if the state was deciding to make these negotiations and cite these things without any local input? I understand it's not palatable to everybody. I get that. What I'm concerned about the position we would be in if these things were cited at the state level and are followed up from the state level. I throw the state under the bus at times. We've told our local representatives that. This at least gives us the ability to try to take firsthand to the company in these negotiations what the community priorities are and need to be, as opposed to the blanket view that the state would take. So you bring up good points.
You guys have initially get to make final decision. We don't.
We-
Should you make the decision on?
We make the final.
People of the community want it or on your own?
So we make the final decision because there was a duly held election that put us in these positions. That's when folks decide.
But you elected based on representing
Right.
our wants.
I agree.
Our needs.
30
It's important to us, the people that you work for.
33,000 people is who we work for. Right?
So then give them a chance to tell you what they want.
What I'm suggesting is we have heard a lot of comments from a lot of different folks throughout the entire county concerning this and other projects. And we are trying to do our best here to thread the needle as to what's going to keep us viable moving forward and yet mitigate the impact. And like I said, I acknowledge some of you folks today will be leaving and not be happy. I totally understand that.
Gentleman over here said earlier that people feel like this has already been rubber stamped. I've not heard a single part of this discussion about it not even being an option to have the data center. Everything is, how do we make it possible to? So you want us to not feel like it's rubber stamped, saying we're figuring out how to make this possible and no discussion on whether or not it should not even exist?
Oh, we've had the
Gives us
discussion.
the feeling that it's already been a rubber stamp.
Why was the 60-foot cap removed? That was to protect our agricultural landscape.
So we adjusted the I2 zoning standards to go from 60 to 75 feet. And we also at the same process, removed some other random I-2 parcels throughout the county so that you couldn't just have something get built someplace that it doesn't belong. So
We learned that from
that,
Scouts.
that area is our industrial area in the county. I understand that.
We were phasing it out because the damage it had already done. Now we're gonna build on top of it?
Where's our cultural reviews? Native Americans have been using that land. I know that there's arrowheads there and pottery. Have we done the full investigation of that? Or are we just going to pave over that and like it's not?
Well, this has gotten beyond just public comment here. I understand that. So thank you.
You made a statement earlier that you would think that pollution's not gonna be as great as coal. You sitting in that chair making the decisions you're making, shouldn't that be an answer? No.
How many of you?
We may be trading a different
There you
pollution
go.
with coal for another. But the damage is the same. And that's something before you make any decision.
Well,
That's a thing you should know, not think.
once again, as was touched on, no agreement is going to be able to mitigate 100% of the risk. I understand that. We're trying to look at the overall.
Decision is not smart.
What's that?
Making an uninformed decision is not smart.
Well, I appreciate your opinion and we have been endeavoring to understand and know as much as we possibly can. Once again, that's why we have
And maybe you should pause on this until you have the information in fact, before you make a decision that affects our community.
I mean, if I want to,
Generations to come.
I could share.
What you think might be.
Yeah.
Comment online.
Okay. We have public comment online.
There was none just a minute ago.
There's none.
There is none. Okay. All right.
That's
I
what
have
you said.
comment.
No public comment, right?
I have comment.
Well, there's one there
There's
now.
one.
Okay. Who is it?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
State your name.
My name is Sarah Goss, and I put my address in the chat.
Thank you.
My first question is, can the full development agreements be read into the record or posted now before any vote? That's my first question.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
The full development agreements or the full agreements can be posted now online or read in full before the vote.
I don't see, I don't know if that's possible or impossible, to be honest. I think we have a resolution before the commissioners that has the three documents are attached to that, not intended to be signed, but they are in the form of the agreement. There are some counties that actually have their meeting documents online that are available. I know that Tippecanoe County does. Jasper has not yet gotten that far down the road. We've got the new website just been put into effect, and I know that meeting agendas now are posted and minutes are posted, but the documents that would be for the commissioners are not yet part of that process.
Okay. They will be made available, but I guess make it available at this instant probably is not practical to do, I would say, or not possible to do at this moment.
Okay, so then why is the public being asked to accept terms that we can't review?
So we did just present the terms, and it's the responsibility of the commissioners to negotiate these terms on behalf of the community and get these settled so that we can present them to the community. It's increasingly, obviously, it would be very difficult the way the system is set up to try to have, everybody in the county review documents. And I guess that's where the system is set up as representatives. I guess that there has to be some level of confidence that we can make a decision based on the county from the positions that we hold. So go ahead.
So are the agreements that you worked on today final? Are they signed?
The numbers are final that Mr. Hall presented as far as the amounts of money and the projected term that could go out to 35 years. There is provision that at least we have assurances of what we would be collecting for 10 years. And then if the agreement would be terminated beyond 10 years, it would, payments would revert back to the tax rolls. So the issues that we talked about, some of which was the monitoring, the reporting, construction compliance, which will establish a hotline for county residents to be able to reach out to if there are concerns as they encounter them that can be passed along to make sure that they're addressed. So you'll actually be able to talk to, we use that system in regards to the wind project in the south. And it worked quite well to be able to keep citizens informed if there were issues that developed. So the terms would be presented and made available, after we have not signed yet, we haven't taken the vote yet, that would be upcoming. That's why we had the public comment, tried to hear the concerns and, talk about the benefits and the concerns, recognizing that any agreement, any project does have some element of risk and unknown. We understand that. We're not promising that we know 100%, but I feel like the balance is tipped in favor potentially of this because we have weighed out the pros and cons and looked at what the potential benefits could be for the community, weighed against what happens if we don't do it and what the community is left in if other developments come that we're not necessarily ready for. So that's where we've tried to negotiate this as the executive branch of county government on behalf of the community.
Okay. Do the agreements modify, replace, or waive any of the 9 prior agreements or the commitments?
The commitments, no, I would say this, Attorney Beaver can weigh in on this, but I believe the commitments were designed in such a way to get to this agreement, to be able to have those concerns addressed. Primary of which was, what the water use was going to be and, what those other total of 9 commitments were, negotiating good faith and so forth. So those commitments were designed to angle towards crafting an agreement that would actually then carry out what the will of those commitments was.
Okay.
Eric, do you want to weigh in? Am I correct in that assessment or would you suggest otherwise?
Yes.
Yep. The commitments are the zoning law of the land. And one of those commitments has been extended to allow for, actually 2 of the commitments were modified, I believe. The most important one is the extension to July 6th, I believe, for the company to enter into an agreement with the county for the commissioners, as commissioners see fit to address the needs and impact of the property itself, which is the community impact agreement that is attached to the resolution. And so that will keep the zoning at I2 rather than to revert back to agriculture.
And that time was extended because the county requested it because we needed more time to go through all these details. Anything else? Okay.
Do these agreements authorize grading, clearing, or construction activity before required county, state, federal approvals are complete?
So what will be allowed was for the stockpiling of some aggregate out there, and then a limited grading permit will be considered to at least get the ground graded and the site made ready, but no actual vertical construction as of yet.
That was all on the CCGT side.
That's right, CCGT. But if we sign this,
correct,
it would give them limited approval to do mass grading just to get the ground moved and baseline.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who's next?
Here, sir. What's his name? Steve, if you're unmuted, you're welcome to public comment now.
Okay. My name is Steve Wangan, and I'm joining to speak about local accountability and the data center project and how we protect our community over the long term. The responsibility for environmental monitoring and enforcement sits with agencies like the EPA at the federal level and the DNR at the state level. These agencies play an important role. They set standards, issue permits, and enforce regulations. But the reality is their oversight is often broad while the impacts are highly local. I have little faith in these agencies keeping Jasper County's best interest in mind. A second point is the large corporation managing this project has nearly unlimited resources. When problems arise, they can sometimes choose to pay fines rather than immediately fix the issue, especially if enforcement is delayed or distant. These concerns create a gap between who experiences the impact and who has the power to respond to it. This is where county level leadership becomes critical. Local government is in the best position to require site-specific monitoring, ensure real-time transparency, and establish clear local expectations. You don't replace the EPA or state DNR, but you add a layer of accountability that is closer, faster, and more responsive. For example, you can require developers to install local air, soil, and water sensors. You could set conditions that trigger immediate corrective action or require environmental performance bonds so funds are available to fix problems without delay. This is about closing the loop between oversight and impact. Responsible development isn't just about meeting regulations, it's about ensuring that the people who live here are protected in real, measurable ways. I encourage you to strengthen local accountability measures so that our community is not just relying on distant oversight, but has tools, visibility, and protections right here at home. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, sir. Well taken.
Hello, can you hear me?
Is this John Burton?
This is Sean Burton.
All right. Go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm not as prepared as I would like to be for this. Like you said, these figures that we are discussing regarding the abatements and the proposed cash considerations, were just kind of revealed. So I haven't really weighed the pros and cons of that as much as I would like to. When I first heard about just the idea of abating taxes in exchange for upfront money spent on public roads, I was a little confused because isn't that the purpose of taxes? And then, I kind of thought about it, and you might agree with me that receiving a lot of money upfront would allow us to invest in things that we wouldn't be able to if we received a similar amount over many years. But my question is why? Like, why not just have Amazon pay the taxes? Like, if it's, I mean, can you?
Well, when resource comes through the standard taxing procedure, it does go to the local subunits and so forth, but it does take time to collect that right per year. And you're a little less or considerably less flexible on the county end to be able to address some immediate needs that exist. You're right. A lot of these things are paid for through taxes, but the reason why we've been open to a project that will ultimately increase the assessed valuation in the county is because the state is making changes as to how county government is funded. And, for many years, we've had a levy-based system, and Rick or Eric, you can correct me if I say anything wrong. It allows us to collect X dollars that the state deems that we can collect. And if your AV goes up, the rate goes down and vice versa. The move has been, I believe, by 2030 or 31 to switch to a rate-based system, which is going to be more directly tied to the assessed valuation in the county. Currently, if I recall from our commissioners conference, homeowners pay about 51% of the county of the tax burden in the state. And the goal is to shift that down to about 38% by around 2030 or 31. So shifting the burden away from homeowners, which great, good idea. But at the same time, they're adjusting value, how farmland is valued, and then shifting, the remainder burden to business. But ultimately that results in a trend line of assessed valuation that's going to decline. That affects rural counties disproportionately because the opportunities for assessed valuation growth are limited for rural counties. So if we don't consider projects to boost our AV, then we do run into a situation in a few years where we are looking at significant cuts in service and the ability to provide those services. So while I don't say it's a cliff we're going to fall off, and I'm not trying to project fear here, it's a reality that decisions made at authority levels above us directly affect us. So here we have the opportunity with a project to essentially boost the AV within the county. I don't know, what was it, 40 or 50% from one project on 300 acres, the equivalent of like 6,000 households. And I think we have 12,000 households, not population, but households in the county. So you have one project here in a localized area. We understand it's going to make some impact there, affect that area disproportionately, but allow the county to potentially plan responsibly going forward with the changes that the state has made above us. So we're trying to think immediate term, but we're also trying to think a few moves ahead so that we're in a good position. They've changed the local income tax.
I don't have so much time. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm
Didn't mean to give you a sermon here, but that's kind of, that's part of what goes into our thinking.
So is your approval contingent then on Amazon's commitment to pay for public works upfront? Would you say that?
So there's the three different agreements. One was called the Economic Impact Agreement, which was money independent of whether the project is built or not, but it's all part of this, or independent of the other incentives. That's money that would come relatively quickly so we can address some of these immediate needs. And then there would be money over the next 3 years that would come in chunks that we can look to invest. That's one of the next tasks for county government between the council and commissioners, is to figure out our priorities, how to invest that with the resources available to a county to invest to get the maximum rate of return, and then how we want to direct those interest benefits or those interest streams to meet county needs that we can then take out of county general as far as tax dollars and free up some of that money to address other needs without having to raise a tax. And so we have a lot of moving parts here. And so this project comes in at a time when we're looking at all these factors, trying to figure out what's the best balance for the county as a whole. Lifestyle, economics, future viability.
And then only that first apportionment you mentioned was independent of approval. The other two are not.
No, it would all three be one resolution. There are three components of this one agreement. So if we move and vote on this today, or we're going to have to have a discussion to move on to it here shortly, I guess. They would all be approved here together as one total agreement. Am I correct in that?
That's correct.
Okay.
But that vote will not happen today?
No, that vote will likely happen today, yes.
Well, I mean, we just got this information, the public did, and you guys have had presumably longer than this morning to deliberate that. We haven't had any time to really consider the pros and cons of this. I mean, don't you think even just a few weeks to kind of weigh and give you our feedback?
We have had conversations with township and town officials at the north, as Commissioner Hilton referred to. We did have community outreach engagement May 27th. That was in the evening.
That was but these specific provisions were not available at that time regarding the tax abatements. Like the specific figures.
The specific figures weren't available at that time because we were still actively negotiating what those numbers were. And had we tried to do that in a public forum, the county loses its leverage on how to negotiate those numbers. And so that's where, as the executives representing the county, it was the commissioner's responsibility along with the council to hash out those numbers.
Why does it lose its leverage?
Excuse me?
Why does it lose its leverage?
Well, you have other competitors to the company that we're dealing with that are trying to come into localities as well. And so to be able to maintain a direct conversation and not be the source of misinformation, we had those direct conversations with them.
Have you heard from other competitors?
Well, there's always other data center developers trying to get into these, into communities.
But which have you heard from?
What's that?
Which have you heard from?
So this is the one that we've heard from directly is the one that we're negotiating with. And we have talked to other municipalities and other counties dealing with other companies. And we believe that this was the best fit for, our county.
It doesn't sound to me like we're kind of assuming that there's other competition and that we lose our leverage. Here's the thing. If Amazon has the public welfare as a priority, shouldn't that be independent of whether it's approved or how long we take to approve it? I've heard so many speakers today say that they're just skeptical of Amazon and their motivations. And I can understand why, because their history shows that they don't make decisions with regard to the public welfare. They're a corporation. They want to make a profit.
I think, are we at our 3 minutes here? I do thank you for your very thoughtful comments. And I guess, I'd like to just try to impress upon you that we have had conversations with other, officials from other counties and municipalities who contemplating these projects. And that helped give us some assurance that the agreement was going to be conducted honorably. And that has been our experience. And that, I guess, once again, there has to be some level of confidence here that we can make this decision, knowing that we aren't going to know 100% of anything. I don't know if I've ever made a decision on anything that I knew 100% what the complete outcome was going to be, or the benefits or the unintended consequences. But when we reach a threshold that benefit outweighs risk, it gives us, at least it gives me, I'll speak for myself, confidence to be able to make this decision. And that's where we're at.
Points and effects, how do you make that decision?
Have you guys
So-
talked to any of the residents?
We have any more online calls? We have one more online.
What's it?
We have one more online.
One more online? Okay. This will be our last one? Okay.
Barry, can you hear us?
Yes.
Feel free. You're open to the public.
I was just wondering what portion of the funds upfront for EMS, fire, and schools is going to be appropriated to Wheatfield community as opposed to southern part of the county.
So to that point, we've already appropriated, is it 410,000 to from our other EDA money, so not even this project, to assist with, was it Wheatfield EMS or fire to get the Wheatfield Fire to get extrication equipment? We've had active conversations with Wheatfield EMS, and we're aware of what their needs are. And money will be established in a line item so that the appropriation can be presented to the council and run through the normal appropriation process. But we have given them support for them to be able to get another rig probably. And I know funding for staffing is also key. So we had in-depth conversations there. We also know that we feel Town Marshal likely needs the vehicle. We've had that, and we've asked them to get their their needs list sent to the town so that the town can vote on it, make a recommendation to the county regards to some of that. So we have actively been sending funds that direction already, potentially, whether this comes or not. There's other projects going on up there that is going to put pressure on the area no matter what.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all for your comments. It's been a challenge, of course, and want to come sign? You're come put your name on here so you can come on up, state your name.
Are there fines associated with non-compliance in this deal?
Or what?
Fines associated with non-compliance, like dust control, people, wells going dry. Is there fines associated with that?
We have fines with traffic.
Traffic control, yeah.
With traffic, we got fines. There's always been, even with any solar development or wind development, there's always been fines contributed to that fact. The most recent, if we want to look at the wind farm or the solar development up in Nyman, there's been fines contributed to that based on the facts and findings of the compliance monitors. And those were implicated by them and checks received directly to Jasper County based on what those fines.
Yeah. I haven't heard nothing about it.
Yeah. Well, this would be why we're also letting the sheriff's department hire three specific officers for traffic control. And we told them tickets need to be written. It's not about just slowing. It needs to be enforcement and started early so that the communities aren't just run through.
Second question is, have you gave more thought about having your meetings in the evenings instead of the mornings?
So interestingly enough, when I was on the council, I don't know how Steve handles it. We used to get complaints that our meetings were too late in the evenings. So commissioners have always been at 8:30. I guess that's something we could potentially talk about, but generally the executive body is met during the day because you're dealing with other vendors and entities that operate during business hours. So that would be typically why we've had our meetings at these times.
I'm just saying that when I worked for the city, all of our meetings were in the evenings and vendors had no problem showing up. And just more constituents could show up in the evening meeting and be heard. Because that seems like the biggest complaint on the internet is the time frame of the meetings.
Okay, well, that's something that I guess we inherited, and I guess we could consider a different time.
I got responsibility to the boss too, and that's why I was late getting here. You got responsibilities to your bosses, which are constituents.
Claude, I don't mean to interrupt you. Jack, if you can't keep your comments to yourself, would you please excuse yourself outside?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Because like I said, most of and it's not an employee thing because they're all salaried employees anyway. I don't care if just two people show up to your meeting, but I just feel the meeting should be in the evenings when more people can attend if they need to.
We can certainly.
Because it's always been is not a good excuse.
That's fair. I guess I felt the reasons why it has been, it was legitimate reason to keep going, but we can take that up as a point of conversation.
There's certain counties that do every other, right?
Right.
There's no one size fits all.
Even every other.
Okay.
There's not always a one size fits all. I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Claude.
Real quick. Knock battle. Frank Newton, 12192 West Stahlbaum Lane, Wheatfield, Indiana. Couple quick questions. What are the 4 high schools involved? And actually, I think is really a paltry figure for each one of them. And I think KB schools should see the biggest portion of that because they're going to be most directly impacted. And also, is Jasper County Economic Development going to receive their customary 3% of any tax abatement figures to put into their general operating fund?
That was outlined by Rick in the beginning, that it cannot exceed $100,000 a year.
Okay,
instead of the 3%. You
Okay.
did mention that.
okay, that'll work. That answers that question.
Your
High
four
school.
schools, Demont Christian,
King
KV,
Valley.
Rensselaer, and Tri-County.
Okay, that answers, all right.
And that's just to help get things started. My assumption is there would be further interaction with the company to help develop
Yeah, I'd like
curriculum.
to see KV schools because there's some issue now with KV schools enrollment. They're going to be moving some schools around a little bit, trying to readjusting middle school, intermediate school, maybe need of another elementary school in that area. There's some issues there. They're going to be the one most affected by this whole development. I think personally, the next 3 to 5 years, depending on assessments, we're going to see our assessed values drop a little bit in the general area. Not much, but I think we need to consider that.
If we go to a rate-based system, you better hope they do.
Yeah, but yeah. So I really think the KV schools should receive the biggest portion of that $800,000. I mean, Tri-County is 45 miles away, Rensselaer's 30 miles away, and they're getting equal amounts.
They're going to need employees from the county.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why you need training from the entire county.
So, all right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Okay.
Close in public.
All right. Yeah, we'll enter a public comment. Thank you for the vigorous comments, everybody.
We will close after this last comment. Thank you.
My name is Dottie Warwick. I live at 322 South Sunset Drive, Rensselaer, Indiana. And I was just got a question and some information on aquifers. Why couldn't the county test the water once a month? And aquifers have no boundaries. And I've talked to 3 other counties, the directors, and they're all concerned about what goes on in one county can affect another county. So, and I presented Jasper County Commissioners, the Plan Commission, NIPSCO, and Amazon on detailed maps on aquifers, how they're stacked, how wide they are, how deep they are, and how they recover. And, you know, they're all connected. So I think it's important that we protect our water.
Totally agree.
So, I mean, can you test it once a month?
That's a topic we can take up with our construction compliance monitor, and we would transfer that responsibility to them to see to it. If that's how it needs to be done, we'll have that discussion.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. All right. It's a weighty project. It's an important consideration. We, once again, thank you for the comments. I'm going to revert back now to the commissioners. Ryan or Craig, any thoughts you'd like to make? Or any comments concerning this?
Covered a lot of conversation today. You've handled a lot of it well, and I give you credit for that. It's not easy to sit in these chairs. That's all I've got to say.
Craig, any thoughts?
Yeah, I once again reiterate, I appreciate everybody being here. I really do think that it is important. As I said before, you have to stay engaged. I mean, if we didn't have Facebook now, it would be the local newspaper. And how many people took the local newspaper when it was in its heyday? You have to stay engaged in being at these meetings, being on Zoom, keeping involved throughout the whole year, not just once in a while, is key to us being able to represent you accurately. So thank you for everybody that came. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the concerns. I feel like that the majority of the concerns that were brought up today have been addressed throughout these negotiations and are in these agreements of how we're going to handle that. I do witness that obviously the water concern coming out of the Kankakee River is a DNR issue, right? They're the ones that are going to allow that. We don't have throw over that. The discharge back into the river, IDM issue. They're going to have throw over that. When we talk about air permitting, that's a IDM issue. There's certain things that we don't have encompassing control over. That's under their footprint. So we can do our best to mitigate the problems we can at the local level, and then obviously make sure that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing at the state level with when and if there is an issue. So again, thank you for everybody that's put in the hard work here today, and for coming and making yourself known.
With that said, A couple assumptions too, assumes that the company wants to come in and just make a mess and then leave. This is a long-term commitment. And I don't think it would be to their best interest to come in and screw up the environment and hurt the locals. I don't see how that's good for their long-term plan. Certainly not good for the county's plan. But the needs that we have are real, they're concrete, and they're immediate. And when you dial 911, you expect a response. You expect somebody to be there who's going to work, going to answer the call. And we have real concerns about that. I'm going to say this one last thing, and then I will ask you guys to consider this then. There was the volunteer fire department had a service study a few years ago. And we would have to raise a tax 372% to get to the recommended fire service staffing that report had. To me, that's a big deal. And that's also why municipal water was a big deal to me. Now you're going to get some hydrants out there away from just the town proper. That helps insurance and that helps fire response times. We are getting an aquifer management study done. That's the one takeaway that I took from St. Joseph's County is we need that. Now, river water made it easier in my mind to consider this project, but we still need the study. Dottie makes a good point. We need to know where the aquifers are. We need to know how to steer future development. We're doing a housing study because you all experience it. It's been a little bit willy-nilly up there, free for all, where you're putting stuff in. And we have to now start designing with a little bit of structure and long-term planning to keep our way of life in place. None of us wants essentially to recreate a Crown Point down here. At least I don't. Where every house looks exactly the same, about 20 feet apart. It'd be nice to keep the character of Jasper County intact. So you fellas know, as we've talked through this, my opinion is I believe this agreement helps us to put us in position to answer some of these needs and these concerns, no matter what the state throws at us, and going from there. So do we need Eric to read anything?
I think my copy of, or next copy of the resolution is probably in a file somewhere.
Do you want to sign a resolution number to it, or?
Yeah, we should. Yes. 6-14-26-A, or what do we want to?
Yeah, I think A is fine. I don't know if we'll have a B.
All right.
Then the resolution approves each of the three agreements that we talked about this morning: community enhancement agreement, the tax abatement agreement, and the enterprise technology exemption agreement. And they reflect those terms that were shared in the presentation this morning. It approves the form of those agreements and authorizes the execution of them by the Board of Commissioners and taking whatever other actions are necessary to confirm the agreements.
Okay. With that said, and you guys are fully versed in it, you've had a chance to review things. Would one of you want to make a move and make the motion to approve this agreement in three parts as presented?
Breen, I'd make the motion to move to approve the agreement with Amazon over the development of the data center in Key Township.
Motion's made by Craig. Do I have a second? I'll support. Supported by Ryan. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, then as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Give us a little bit of what's next. What's going to happen next? What's going to come down from Amazon in regards to this now that we've approved this? Scott or Gideon, you guys want to make any comments?
There you go.
No, appreciate your time again this morning. I think next steps on our side of the equation is going to be the ILP, which I think is part of Monday evenings. Stuff that's going on here in the county, along with, we'll present these same agreements before the county council tomorrow in the evening. And then from there, we'll begin to start work on the project ultimately as you guys approve each step of the way here throughout the processes that are outlined by the county. At the same time, we'll begin to get our community engagement team fired up and ready to go to start to make an impact here in Jasper County. We'll also get our workforce development folks partnered up with your local schools here to figure out what programming exists today, and also what programming we need to help and support along the way here as we move into the future.
I know one of the things, you've heard many of the comments today as a representative of the company. And I guess I would really like you guys to take the initiative and, make available to us so we can make public, the concerns of water, light, noise. I know you have specific design teams for all those aspects, and would love to hear updates and kind of a tracker as to how things are going, just so that we can pass along. We intend to do on our side of things, as we invest money in these needs, to put out an investment tracker.
Yep.
So, between you guys, you have told us, and I do want to hold you to this, that you guys are an engaged and good local partner. And I'd really like to give you the opportunity to show that to be true. And I have no reason to believe at this point that you won't.
Yep.
But that would, as you take it to your associates, please impress upon them that that would be very meaningful to us. That we want to put to bed any misinformation that might exist out there, and actually let's get real-time data as to how the project goes.
Absolutely. We're committed to that.
Thank you. Any other thoughts or comments? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
These need to go to Eric. Do these need to go to Donna then, or where would be?
I have a copy or one copy of the agreements signed, and I can scan those to send those to Amazon for counter signature.
Okay.
The signed resolution should go with the auditor, and then it's a public document, so that can be released immediately, which has the three agreements attached.
Okay.
And then as soon as I have a counter signature, then we can get that back to the auditor.
Okay. Give that to her.
Listen, done.
Yep. And these go to Eric then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right, Eric. Rick, any final comments from you?
No.
Okay, thank you. What's that?
Okay, good.
Well, we have.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah. All right, Eric, are you ready for our next topic?
So I think I've got the community enhancement agreement. I've got two of the agreements. I've got the enterprise information and the tax abatement. What's the community enhancement agreement? Part of that.
Actually, do you have a community enhancement agreement signature there? Should I have duplicates? Need that back. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
The other item on the agenda is the economic development agreement with NIPSCO.
On the peaker plant, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And I did not prepare a separate resolution. I have two copies of the agreement.
Okay. Want to talk about the details on that a little bit?
So this is the natural gas peaker project that NIPSCO's had been going on for several years. It's not related to Genco, which is a separate project. This project received state approval from the IURC in like 2024, I believe. And this has been part of the the gas peaker project that's to replace the coal generating capacity at Schaefer. And so I think in February of last year is when the commissioners entered a MOU with NIPSCO to start using the roads for the project. We've just last week did approve the road use agreement after heavy negotiations. And so this is the tax abatement agreement, and this is with in negotiations that the commissioners and council had ongoing for actually discussions probably started about 2 years ago. And the question at the outset was whether or not the county had any interest in an abatement. And then the SB1 bill worked its way through an entire legislative session. And so once that fallout has ended, then both parties agreed that there was interest in having a tax abatement for the gas peaker project. And so terms were agreed. Substantial terms were agreed in March or so, and we have put together an agreement to reflect those terms. And this reflects only state distributable property. So the $759 million figure was produced to the county by NIPSCO for state distributable property that's not local personal property, nor is it real property. And so the agreement is that it'll be 10 years, 100% abatement of personal property taxes that is state distributable relating to this project. And in return, NIPSCO will pay back to the county $18.75 million in over the course of 10 years in equal sums of $1.875 million per year. And there's also an agreement of a 30% floor to the assessed value of the project, which even though it's 100% abatement, it helps protect the assessed value to the county. And it also helps protect the county for year 11 so that there is not a huge drop off in the assessed value. And in fact, to the extent that the assessed value does drop below 30%, and there still can be an obsolescence factor that can still operate to allow a 4% reduction in value. But if it dips below the 30% figure, then NIPSCO will owe the county the amount of taxes that would be owed beneath that 30% floor. And so that is in addition to the $1.875 million. There's also protections for change of law in the event that the county's interests are impacted, and that NIPSCO would make the county whole with regard to those payments that are expected under the agreement.
So Eric, thank you for your work on this, and I thank NIPSCO. I see NIPSCO attorney back there. Do you have any comments you care to make? No. Okay. I just know from my perspective, this, I think, establishes a new level of commitment between the county and NIPSCO. There were some concessions given by the company to the county, some requests that we had that Steve and I developed over our time on the council. And we appreciate NIPSCO's considerations regarding this agreement. And I find it personally to be agreeable, and I'm grateful that we were able to get to this point. Craig or Ryan, any comments that you would care to make weighing in on this agreement before we take it up for a vote?
I have none at this time.
Okay.
No, I think this is a good agreement, probably one of the best abatement agreements or economic development agreements of abatement that we've ever had. When you look at a percentage of taxes versus what you're going to get from an abatement, I think it's very, very strong, and appreciate everybody involved in it.
Okay.
And Reen, I could also add that the concerns I've been hearing from the assessor since I've been here are in large part addressed with regard to this project, where the assessor has in the past not known for sure what is the property that is in the county and how is that going to be set downstate to be assessed and then come back. The agreement does provide for transparency to the county with that process still being in place.
Yeah, I also want to express many thanks to Steve Jordan and the county council, all the members of the council, and Don Hoffman, our assessor, in helping us. And of course, Sarah and Crystal with economic development helped us to coordinate these conversations, do Baker-Tilly analysis, and try to, once again, do we have 100% certainty on how this is going to work out? No, but we have a good level of confidence that this is an excellent agreement. So thank you again for your input. Ryan or Craig, would one of you gentlemen want to move and make the motion to approve the economic development agreement between Jasper County and NIPSCO regarding the peaker power plant?
Make a motion to approve the economic development between Jasper County and NIPSCO.
Okay. Motion was made by Ryan, supported by Craig. Any further discussion? Being none, all in favor as presented, say aye.
Aye.
That's approved. This way would it go that way? While we were in our meeting, I did get a text from Heath Malone from the city. He would like us to attend or needs to meet with us, maybe Jack, up at the pavilion site. They have some questions. I'm not sure about exactly what, but we need to go up there if we can do that. And I'll let him, maybe we can do it after this meeting briefly. Do we have any other business from county perspective? Jack, did you have some issues for us? Okay. Mary, anything?
Within the building permits, are we gonna move forward with the ILP?
Right, yeah, did you make the recommendation to us and then?
I was given the recommendation from the third party from BM.
Okay, yes. Okay, everything is in order from the construction compliance, okay. And so would it be your recommendation for us to follow through on their recommendation?
Yes.
We got recommendation squared here, okay,
Based on their recommendation.
okay. I think it would be in the best interest of the project for us to weigh in and do an oral resolution concerning that approval, so it's not just Mary's decision that allows us to go forward. So any comments you guys would want to make concerning, and this is the ILP for?
The CCGT with NIPSCO for their mass grading.
Right.
And then we've also got a request for AWS for mass grading.
Right. And BFNS has reviewed both of those,
Yes, they have.
as I recall, right? So that's our construction compliance monitor performing their duties to give the county confidence to be able to grant an approval and make a recommendation for that aspect of the process to go forward.
Eric, where are we at with the road use agreements for those two projects?
We have the road use agreements in place with NIPSCO, and we have a commitment from Amazon to negotiate a road use agreement and already have the commitment for the $5+ million in the community impact agreement that would be available for road issues. So I think then we will be flowing right through with counsel for Amazon to have the road use agreement in place ASAP.
But we are good on CCGT. We have that in hand.
Yeah, that was approved 2 weeks ago. Okay. And we also have the cost sharing agreement that was already approved also with BFNS, or for BFNS to be paid by NIPSCO.
Yep. So we have some of those ducks in a row.
Rob?
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to clarify. So the road use agreement we have in place is for the Schaefer Gas Peaker project. We plan to model the one for the CCGT project directly like that one.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah, no problem.
Rob Ridge, NIPSCO engineer.
Engineer extraordinaire. Okay, so we've heard Mary's comments. We understand BFNS is signed off on that aspect of things. Their eyeballs are on all of that stuff for us, thank goodness. Would one of you guys want to move and make the motion for the ILP for AWS to allow mass grading procedures to start?
I guess I would make the motion, but I would make the motion on us contending on having road use agreements in place before that permits, either one of those permits are issued. I think when we started this whole process, we said we would follow the process, and that's the process. So I think everybody's got a big portion of their duties off their plate now. After about a half an hour ago, we surely can get together and get road use agreements hammered out as we're all on the same county road. So I'm fine with it. We can make that approval if you're fine with it, Mr. Chairman, upon getting road use agreements in place. I'd make that as a motion, convoluted as it is.
So we have, we have the template in place already for that we've currently hammered out. Are you kind of expecting we use that as the baseline so it's not
Correct.
recreated from
Yeah.
scratch?
Yeah,
Okay.
we actually have a road use agreement proposal back to us from Ryan Companies for the Amazon site now that I think it's a simple, get done the red line, get it sent back and get it signed. I don't foresee this taking longer than this week. We should be able to get there. So I don't foresee us holding the project up. I just want it done in the process that we said when we started this, it would be done.
Okay. Donna have fun transcribing that.
A good thing you're recording.
Tell Cynthia she's gonna have an issue. Or Ashlyn, yeah, go.
You're in
for it.
trouble when I start talking.
All
with
right,
my
so
hands.
you've heard that it would basically be approval contingent on just knocking out the road use agreements. And we have the template in place, so it should be expedited. That's the motion. Do we have a second? Support. Supported by Ryan. Any further discussion? Being none, all in favor as presented, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Anything else? Steve, any comments from council perspective? Okay. All right. James, thank you for the technical assistance today. Tell Eric we appreciate you doing your thing. So
Just so you know, we always have an empty chair.
yeah, we might have to
You
just start.
could just.
You're always welcome.
Yeah, required, I think at this point, right?
Start wrangling him.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no other business.
Jack, do you have something? You have,
You need to sign something for it.
oh, never mind. Okay, I'm sorry. I seen, so I want to make sure we didn't
Okay.
miss it.
All right. All right, if there's no other business, then would one of you gentlemen want to move and make the motion to adjourn?
All right, do you mind if I ask
Oh,
a
sorry.
question before you do?
Sure.
Just so I was clear again, Robert, was that a recommendation for approval contingent on, was that for both ILPs, both in this?
Correct.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
I will now make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made to adjourn. Do we have a second?
I support that.
Supported by Craig. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.